Hello friends, welcome back. In this video, we will start working on Markdown app. So inside Markdown editor folder, we have a folder called start, and inside the src folder, we have a file called app.js. So let's open this app.js file, and this is the file where we will do our work. Now let's open the terminal by pressing Ctrl and backtick key. Let's clear this. So as you can see, when I type cd space dot dot, I am inside this Pomodoro folder. So we need to go inside Markdown editor folder. Okay. So here I'll do cd space dot dot. Okay. Now I'm inside the main folder, and here I'll say cd, and here we need to say p02 tab. So now we will go inside this folder. Okay. So here, as you can see, we are inside Markdown editor folder, and then we need to go inside start folder. So I'll say cd start. Okay. Now we are inside the start folder. Let me clear this. And here we need to type npm install to install all the dependencies. Okay. Okay. So here, as you can see, we have this node underscore modules. Okay. Let me clear this. And now I will say npm start. So our application has started. Okay. Now let's start coding. So let me close this. And first we will bring in the use state. So here I'll say use state. Now whatever we type inside this text area should be stored in a state. So here I'll say const, and inside an array I'll say markdown and set markdown, that is equal to use state. And initially we will have a string which is hash sub. Okay, so this will be the default string. Let me save this. Okay, and now inside the text area I'll say value, that is going to be markdown. Okay, if I save this and if I go back here, so now as you can see we have this default string. Okay, so let me make this side by side. Okay, now let me close this so we will get more space, and let me make this smaller. So now let's continue. So this will be the default string for our text area. So here, this is a self-close tag. So we need a proper div. So let me close this div, and inside I'll say markdown. Okay. So let's close this curly braces, save this. So now as you can see, we are having this string here. Now the next step is we will listen for any events on the text area where we are typing, then update the markdown value. So inside the text area, here I'll say on change, that is equal to, okay, and inside this curly braces I'll take an arrow function, and here I'll pass event, and here we can say set markdown, which is going to be e dot target dot value. Okay, let me save this. Now if I type anything here, so as you can see, this is also updating. Okay, let me do it again. So here, as you can see, if we type anything, first the default value will be sub, and if I type anything, it will update here. If I remove and type anything, it will update. So this is perfectly working fine. Now we will do some cleanup. So here, as you can see, we are doing an inline arrow function. So what we can do is we can create a function. So here I'll say function, and the name of the function will be handle change, and here I'll say event, and inside this function I'll say set markdown, that is going to be event dot target dot value. And let me copy this handle change event, and here let's remove the entire arrow function, and I'll paste the function which I have created. So on change, that is equal to handle change. Okay, let me save this and let's check it in the browser. So here, if I type anything, it is working fine. So now let's move ahead. So now the problem is that this text area is not rendering the markdown to HTML. It is displaying exactly same value for the markdown. Okay, if even if I do enter and if I type something, so it is not rendering as a p type. So to fix this, we need to grab a markdown parser. We can write our own, but it will take quite a long time. a converter for changing this markdown into actual HTML, that will take a long time for us. So it would make sense to just go grab a package. So let's Google it out. So let me open a new tab, and here I will just say markdown parser JavaScript and hit enter. So this is the first link which we need. So let me click on this. So let's see how to install this package. So if I scroll down, so here it is. The CLI for this is npm install -g marked. So let me copy this, and here let's open the terminal by pressing Ctrl and backtick key. Let's stop this terminal by pressing Ctrl C. Clear this out, and here I'll just paste the line which I have copied. So npm install -g marked. Let's hit enter. So it is giving me an error. So let's try it again. Let me clear this. Let's type it. Okay, it's better to type. So npm install -g marked. Okay, and hit enter. Okay, so it is giving me some error. So let me clear this out. So I'm using Mac, so maybe I need to type sudo before npm install. So npm install -g and marked. Okay, hit enter. So it is asking me the password. So I'll type my password and hit enter. So now this will not give me an error. So this package has been added. So let's check in the package.json file. So here inside the package.json file, let's check the dependencies. One second, let me check the dependencies. So here I cannot see the package. Okay, so let me do this also. npm install marked. So let me just copy this line. Okay, and here I'll paste it. So okay, let's type it. So npm install mark. Okay, hit enter. Maybe this time I'll be able to install the package. If you are using Windows, so maybe you will not require to type sudo. Okay, you can directly type npm install -g marked. And now, as you can see, we have this dependencies marked 4.1.1. Okay, so this package has been installed successfully. So always check your package.json file. Let me clear this. Okay, let me close this package.json. Let me close this. And now let me make this bigger. Now let's check the documentation, how to use it. So if I go on documentation page, and if I go on advanced usage, so here, as you can see, we need to import mark from mark, and a function is being used by itself. So now let's go to VS Code. Okay, let me make this bigger, and let's do npm start. Okay, so then we can close this terminal. Okay, this is done. Let me close this. And now let me make this bigger. The first thing we need to do is we need to import mark. So import mark from mark. Okay, so this is the first thing we need to do. Let me check again. So here it is. So let's copy it. Here I've done a mistake. Okay, so this is done. Now the next step is, here we can say marked. Okay, and inside parentheses we will take marked. Okay, let me save this, and if I go back to our application, okay, so it is showing the HTML. So if I hit enter and if I type something, so as you can see, we are getting this p tag, but it is displaying the entire HTML. So this is not we wanted. So to fix this in React, we have something called dangerously set inner HTML. So we can use that. Okay, so inside this div, here I'll say dangerously set inner HTML, and inside this curly braces I'll take an object and underscore underscore HTML colon, and then we can just take this. Okay, we need to cut this out, and here I'll paste it. Okay, let's remove this. This is not required now. And now let's close this as well. Okay, so okay, there was some problem. Okay, let me remove this closing div. Now this div will be a self close tag. Okay, so let me refresh this. So this is working fine, but let me do it again. So refresh, and now if I hit enter, and let's say if I type something, so this will be a paragraph. And now for listing, I'll say dash or hyphen. This is a list. Okay, and again dash, I am a part of this list. Okay, so this is ULLI. So this is working fine, and let me show you by just inspecting it. So right click inspect, and now as you can see, this is the P tag, this is the H1 tag, and this is the ULLI. Okay, so this is working perfectly fine. Let me close this. Now we will go one step ahead, and instead of using marked, which is a JavaScript package, we can find React Markdown. Okay, so let's type React Markdown and hit enter. So React Markdown. Okay, so let's click on this React Markdown. So I think this is the one, the second one. Let's click on this. Let's scroll down. Okay, yes, this is the one. So we need to do npm install React Markdown. So let me copy this. Okay, and we'll go inside the terminal by pressing Control and backtick key. Just stop the terminal by pressing Control C. Clear this out. Paste it. Npm install React Markdown. Hit enter. Okay, let's check in the package.json. Always check package.json. So here it is React Markdown. Okay, 8.0.3. So this package is installed, and let me just start the server. So npm start, and let's close this. Okay, let me close this terminal. So now let's import. One second, let me check what we have to do. So we need to import this React Markdown. So let me copy this, and here I'm going to paste it. Okay, and let's comment this out. Okay, let's comment this div. So I'm commenting out, and here I'll just say React Markdown, and inside we will have a class name that is going to be preview. Okay, the same class name which we are using inside this div, I'll take that same class name, and here we can say children, because here as you can see we need to pass a prop which is called children, and inside we can pass the markdown. So children equals to, and inside this curly braces I'll just take this markdown and I'll just pass it here. Okay, and this will be a self close tag. Okay, let me save this, and let's check in the browser. So refresh, let's hit enter, and let's say do you still work. Okay, so it is working. So this is a paragraph, and I'll just add a list. So this is working fine. Okay, so this is ULLI, and now let's add a block code. So for that we need to take a greater sign and space and say this is a block code. Okay, so actually this is a block code. Let's check by right clicking and inspecting it. So inspect, and here as you can see we have a block code, and inside we have a paragraph. So let's do some styling for this block code. Okay, so here inside the all the files we have app.css. So let's go down here, and here I'll say block code, and we need to do some styling. So first I'll take font size, that is going to be 30 pixels. Okay, then I'll take a background. So background which is going to be EF. Okay, then I'll take a border left, that is going to be 10 pixels solid blue. Then we have a padding. Okay, 20 pixels and 30 pixels. Then we have border radius. So border radius 5 pixels. Okay, Then we have margin that is going to be 0. Let's save this. And now as you can see, okay, let me close this and let me make this bigger. So we are having this block code which is looking really nice. Okay, so let me close this. So this is our block code and this is looking very nice. So this is something which you can style. Okay, so you can style every single element that has been used. So we have finished our project by creating a markdown editor. So this is it for this video and I'll see you in the next project. Till then, take care and bye bye.